YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Greatly appreciate you popping into the video today. We have the best part of the series, in my opinion, of course. Here in this episode, it is the off season. So, typically off season is a little bit shorter, just because there's not gameplay, which takes about 15 to 20 minutes each game. But it's a lot of talking. It's a lot of housekeeping things. But you have the portal, which is super fun to do, and then you have off season training, and you have all that entails for that as well, which is something that I really enjoy doing. And I think this episode this time I'm going to show you some of that off-season training. So, without further ado, let's hop in, look at the season stats now that this season is over. We had Tim Carpenter started all the games. Remember, we had about three quarterbacks that were pretty much the same exact players. But it was Tim's speed that really kind of put him over the top a little bit. So he threw for 3,600 yards, he had 27 touchdowns, 18 picks. Just way too many picks. You're looking to get like a 2 to 2.5, maybe even 3 touchdown to interception rate, and we were half of that. So completion percentage of 57% is just not what we're looking for at all. So it's looking like Jimmy Uchi is going to come in, and he is going to be the starter next year. He's going to have a bunch of points, hopefully, so that's kind of where we're at with the quarterback position moving forward. And yes, Williams, the Heisman winner, finished with over 2,000 yards, 22 touchdowns. He averaged 143.8 yards per game. He had 20 plus yards. His longest was 72. Tim Carpenter right behind him, 518 for him. 8 touchdowns on the ground as well. So dual threat for sure. Just he turned it over too much. I mean, that's really the biggest issue. Dalvin Thomas, I was hoping to get him a little bit more run, but with how good Williams was, there's just no space for it, like at all. He did score 6 touchdowns on the year. We didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher. Remember, we lost Durham to a torn pec or torn rotator cuff, something like that. So he didn't have his explosiveness, and it showed. Isaiah Grimes was the guy that stepped into his role, and he had 965 yards and 11 touchdowns. But look at this. Williams was the next highest with touchdowns. So, I mean, we spread it around, though. 671, 634, 556, 492. So it's not like it wasn't good. The passing game wasn't good. Just turned the ball over too much. We spread it around. Just really interesting. Frank Beckner, kind of the surprise of the year. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to be transferring. Pro potential's an F. For Mike linebackers, which is fair. They are not very good in that room, but led the team 95 tackles. He also had 11 tackles for loss and even had an interception as well. Donovan Starr was by far the best defensive player. He had 86 tackles, 2 for a loss. He also had a half a sack, but 9 interceptions. The man was an interception magnet. And he's a sophomore. He's going to be returning. So that is really good news for us. Noah Carter, 81 tackles. He was the big transfer acquisition from last year. He had 81 tackles, 8 for loss, 2.5 sacks, and 3 interceptions as well. So he played super well. Garrison, 12 tackles for loss. He led the team in sacks, 6.5. Jean-Louis, 5. Davis Ross, 3. These were the big pass rushers, and they didn't really get the job done, like, at all. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 12, 17, 23, 24. I think that's 26 total sacks. That's just not going to do it. Johnson Jr. had 3 interceptions, Harmon 2, Beckner 1, like we mentioned, and then Shepard 1. So we had 15, 17, 18, 19 interceptions on the year as well. Kicking wise, 88% from the junior. Did miss an extra point as well. So next we are going to be looking at the promotion and relegation teams for the year. I think for the first time in the series idea, I went ahead of time and I looked at who was getting promoted, who was getting relegated, and man, I think this makes it so much easier than just being like, oh yeah, maybe it's this team or this team. So hopefully you enjoyed a little bit more. I did go back in the stats. Donovan Starr led the league, led the nation in interceptions with 9, and Williams had 55 more rushing attempts than everybody else. So he did get the ball quite a bit, but like I mentioned in last video, I think, or 2 videos ago, Carpenter threw it a bunch too. So it's not like we're just giving him the ball. So anyway, I digress. So the ACC, the top 2 teams were Iowa and Cincinnati, so they get a promotion, and NC State and Kansas were the worst teams, so they get relegated down a Conference. American, Oregon State, and Purdue. Purdue is kind of the shocker here. Purdue's typically not very good. What I will say is they are in a pretty weak conference at this point in time. So if they were able to retain like really any of their players, they should be fine. Maryland on the other end of the spectrum, right? A Big Ten team that struggles in the Big Ten, but you'd think that Big Ten should be able to handle themselves, but they went 1-8 in this conference. Tulane is also getting relegated with Maryland. Duke and Washington. The Big 12 was kind of insane. They had 4 top 4 teams in the Big 12. And that's very interesting for sure. Duke and Washington are the 2 that are getting promoted. And then down here we had Utah and Virginia Tech that are getting relegated from the Big 12. The Big 10 championship game was Georgia Penn State, but you also you have the other 5 top 10 teams here in the Big 10. So Big 12, Big 10 are, I guess, the 2 toughest right now. And then you go down here and you see Texas Tech went 0-9. Makes sense. They're a 72 overall in this gauntlet of a conference. Texas A&M kind of did okay with being a 79 overall, just over 500, but Texas Tech got absolutely destroyed. So Indiana and Texas Tech are the 2 from the Big Ten that are getting relegated. We're going to skip Conference USA really quick just because it depends on the independent. This year, Ohio is going to get promoted, and so is Old Dominion, but that's the only 2. As we go down here, and with this Conference USA, we are looking for wins and losses, total wins and losses, opposed to the conference, the only reason the conference would come into play is if there's a tiebreaker. And in this case, because Eastern Michigan and Sam Houston have the two lowest losses, and you have a 7-6 and a 5-7. Kennesaw State with 4-8 barely missed the cut, so they needed one more win to jump either of these teams. So Sam Houston, Eastern Michigan, they are going to be relegated to Independence, and then Akron and La Tech are the teams that are getting promoted. So Akron is kind of climbing the ladder a little bit. They were stuck in the Independence. They got to Conference USA this year and said, you know what, we're winning this thing. And that's what they did. So they're ranked in the top 25, which is kind of crazy to think about. They are only a 64 overall, but the rest of them are not very good. The MAC, obviously, Ball State, which is us, and Bowling Green, who we played in the conference championship, get to move on. Coastal Carolina, Arkansas State are relegated. And if you've been paying attention a little bit, it's been pretty straightforward so far. There hasn't been many tiebreakers. Well, that's about to change. I think the rest of the conferences have tiebreakers now. UTSA, San Jose State. Those are the two that get promoted as they played in the conference championship. I don't know how Buffalo missed out. Maybe San Jose State beat Buffalo. I did not look into that. Toledo is the one that's getting relegated for sure. Then it was up to UConn and Navy, and Navy got beat by UConn in like week 1. So UConn gets to stay in the Mountain West. Navy gets relegated. The Pac-12, North Carolina and Syracuse were in the championship, so they get promoted out of the Pac to the Big 12. And then Memphis was for surely getting demoted with a 1-8. And then California and Virginia were the two that were next in line. And although California only won 2 games, they absolutely dismantled Virginia by like 40. So Virginia gets the nod to get relegated. SEC, Tennessee, Auburn, they get to be back up into the Big Ten. I'm pretty sure both of them have been relegated in the last 2 years. And then SMU and Wisconsin gets demoted or relegated. And then finally the Sun Belt, East Carolina and Army, they get promoted. And down here, JMU got demoted. And then Western Kentucky, kind of the same situation as was it the MAC maybe, but Western Kentucky won more games, but when they played Louisiana, absolutely crushed them. So Western Kentucky and JMU are the ones getting relegated. All right, my least favorite page of every year in College Football 26. Look at all the talent, and I say talent loosely, but Will Yates has been a mainstay. Jean-Louis has been a pretty solid rusher for us. Johnson came in and was a really reliable target in the beginning of the year for us. So there's Erlewine, found ways on the field somehow, and played super well. So there's a lot of players that we what is it? He has F? No, you're literally going to be the starter, man. But there's obviously some top-end talent here that we would like to keep. Noah Carter being one of them. And he stays. I did not think that was going to happen. I'm super stoked about it, though, for sure. Shepard is another one of those guys that we want to keep. Not going to happen. Thomas is good depth, but I'm not going to I'm not going to do that at this point in time. Kenoi, I think we need to keep one of the two for sure. But the big one is Jimmy Uche. He's literally going to be the starter, and he's not because he's not coming here. Beckner, somebody we want to stay, he's going to stay. So we kept the two biggest linebackers on the squad, which is very, very important for sure. Who else do we want? We'll keep the sophomore, which is great. Right edge freshman, not going to stay. Man, Uche leaving is absolutely devastating. I like Kenoi over Thomas, so we're going to do Kenoi first. Thomas ends up staying. Rico, we might need to keep him just for depth. Of those two, I'd like to keep him. And last one, Rico. Didn't get him. So, that's tough. Did we have anybody drafted? No. Alright. I'm not shocked about that. So, losing Jimmy Uche is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. We've seen the stats. We've talked about the relegation and promotion, which you'll see the spreadsheet a little bit later just to give you a visual of all the things that I was talking about and getting to see what the new conferences look like and that type of stuff. And you've seen the pieces that we are losing. Obviously, the biggest one, the star development quarterback, Jimmy Uche. Maybe he gives us a chance in the portal, but if we have F playing time, probably not, to be quite honest with you, but maybe. Now we get to the part where we bring people in from the people we just lost. We're just going to click in here. We did get somebody drafted. I love that. Johnson, the receiver, goes in the 7th round. So we're getting people drafted. Now, there's a change in that from last year's game to this year's game. So just getting him drafted would have boosted everybody's pro potential, but that just helps the receivers, which I really like the change, actually. I really like the change because if you're going to manufacture a bunch of really good running backs, the running backs should be the only ones that benefit, really. Maybe O-line, right? And that type of stuff. But anyway, I digress. We're going to go ahead and pop into the portal. And we are going to make sure to look and see what we have available to us. A lot of Mike linebackers want to come here, which is fantastic because we need help in that position a lot. Receivers always are some people that want to come here. We do need a tight end, so maybe we look for a bigger receiver to move to tight end. But a lot of Mikes, a lot of receivers. There is one quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just check if there's a 5-star. There was a 5-star last year. 4-star potentially here. So we have some big options here. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up the board, and I will get back to you when I'm done. All right. We are all set up. Kind of a frenzy mess, to be quite honest with you, but we will work through it. 5-star quarterback. We found him late. He should commit here this week, probably. Halfback, gonna give it a little bit more work on him, but a 4-star to add to the group as well from high school. Then we took some 3-stars that we had been recruiting pretty much all year, and we took them off to make room for some of the transfers. So left tackle, 4-star. He's a junior, which isn't ideal. Obviously, it's just a 1-year rental, but 4-star is a 4-star. Same thing with cornerback Josiah Edmond. Right guard, need right guard bad. He's a freshman, so it would be huge if we were able to get him. Right edge, same thing, freshman. Looks like he's going to be pretty solid for us. David Stone is a D tackle. Again, junior, which is tough, but we'll live with that. And then the QB, he was at Buffalo. 96 throw power, 88 speed. Mobile resistance is the only thing that I saw, but this guy looks really good, so that'll bolster our QB room for sure. And then we get down to the 5-star, or the 3 stars, excuse me. 93 speed field sophomore corner, so we threw everything at him. And then we have a right edge, we have a right tackle, we got a right guard, we have one of our Mike linebackers, and left edge here, and then we have a bunch of other Mikes. We need a lot of depth at Mike. What we've been doing is moving Wills and Sams, which we can do that and play them there. Like Noah Carter is moved to a Mike linebacker from his spot as well. So we still have room for 2 more players. We just don't have the hours right now to do so. So, which is not ideal in the transfer portal, because even having these guys with 40 hours, like I might be in trouble with that, but we will see. And as I mentioned, the 5-star from Idaho Falls, Idaho commits after week 1 of the offseason, which is great to see. We are here in the final week, and it's definitely been interesting. We've had to take 3 or 4 4-stars off. We look like we should be handily taking this corner. This right guard's going to be tricky. We jumped a bunch. I don't know how much of it came from the visit. Only like 2 bumps, so maybe. Tennessee does have him on a visit, though, so I'm more than likely going to lose that one. The interesting one is the edge setter. Purdue has him on a visit this week, so I don't know how much that's going to affect it. Then Bryce Baker should be coming here, but who knows? Penn State will probably pull out all the stops to get him. That corner, the 93 speed, we should be okay with. And then you see we are handily in the lead for most of these other guys. And if we're not, we had to hard sell or something. And then 32 down to 35. These are guys that are in needs, and we're not very highly touted, so we just offered scholarships and put 50 on them and just kind of see what happens. So a lot of just throwing darts at the wall, but we'll see how that pans out. We end up getting the 4-star running back that we had been recruiting out of high school, so that's a nice addition to the class. Now I need to figure out where. Okay, transfers. So we did lose the right guard to Tennessee. They had the visit. We are not surprised by that one. It's unfortunate because we need guards. And then we lost the Will to Eastern Carolina, which I'm unsure of how, but we ended up losing it to him. And then we lost the Mike that we tried to get into. We lost the other one to Akron, which we were trying to get into, and the right guard there. So the class is going to be 30. And we are still going to have some holes to fill. We might have to move some guys around and position changes and stuff like that. But let's go check out what we got for Dev Trade Star for the Sam Thumper. The 5th player in the nation decided to come to Ball State, and he comes with a star development trait. We get a star development trait from Nostrowski. 94 throw power, 81 speed. We love that. Star for the right tackle as well. His run blocking needs a lot of help, but with star development, he's going to be unbelievable. Another star from the wide receiver, 88 speed. Obviously, got to get that up a little bit, but he looks like he's going to progress well. The halfback only had impact, but that's okay. Left tackle has quick step. He might move into guard. Just because he has quick step, and we need guards from the sound of it. 92 playmaker, halfback more than likely, 92 speed, 92 excel, impact. Let's see, a lot of normals in these 3 stars, which is not ideal. Star for the transfer corner, the 4-star. Another star for the right edge, which is fantastic. The right edge is a freshman too, by the way, so that's great. What's his it doesn't show us anymore. I think championship contender was his big thing. Star for Bryce Baker. I'm so excited that we got him as well. So him and the other Nostrowski, it's going to be a battle between who's going to be the starting quarterback this year. Only impact for Stroud with 93 speed. I was hoping this one would be a low-key star as well. Impact there, impact. Normal for Otis, which is a Mike linebacker with only 80 speed. Star for the left tackle, which is fantastic. It's always good to get stars. And then we find a star contact seeker. He's more than likely going to move to fullback. We'll see what he looks like there, but or anywhere else really. I don't know what he can do, but he's an athlete, so he can move place to place. We just miss out on the top 10. We have 2 5-stars, 10 4-stars, and 18 3-stars. So hopefully we can continue to compete with some of these schools and get up into that top 5 area. So obviously, big thing that we need to look at are our athletes. And it's hard for me to do that and before I look through the rest of the team. But we'll just go ahead and look at where they're most likely going to be. Yeah, I mean, he's 5'10". He's not playing tight end. Sorry to tell you. Receiver, his catching is just not good enough to be a receiver. So for sure he's going to be a halfback. We knew that coming in. Power rusher, left edge, right edge. We'll have to see where he fits there for sure. Contact seeker, this is the star development. He can be left edge. He can be Sam as well. He has 80 speed. So yeah, fullback for sure. Otherwise he's going to be, he has 85 strength. Good Lord. All right. So he's going to probably play the defensive side of the ball. Which that's a great star find there. And then speed rusher, we are looking 89 strength. He might be able to slide in and be a D tackle. What's his? It doesn't show his speed there. What's his speed here? Only 74 speed. Yeah, he might be a D tackle guy, but again, we got to go and figure it out. I will let you know where we end up with these players after I am done moving some other things around. So we move Grimes to tight end, and he gets an impact upgrade. Sick. Devon Starr gets an upgrade to star as well. That is awesome. We getting another one? Washington, I'm pretty sure he's a receiver, gets an upgrade to impact. So 3, I love that. 3 upgrades in that portion of things. Just going through here and looking, Edmund is going to get a bunch as a star. Williams isn't going to be able to get a whole lot better with 22 points. Noah Carter only got 25 with star. What? And this guy had 30 with impact? What the heck? Renner, he's star is 44 star here. Yeah, we are getting Bryce Baker's an 82, by the way. absolutely insane, and he gets 44 skill points. Kyle Washington was the upgrade to Impact. We get 30 for Adonis, which is fantastic. We need a lot of help in the receiver room. A lot of help. Grimes, like I said, we moved him, so he got an upgrade. Price continues to have star, so he's probably going to jump Uter. To be honest, 48 for Hayward. He might jump Zambrano. Just going through looking at some of the big ones. Renner, we already talked about. 33 for Johnson. A lot to go around at the right tackle spot as well. Vaughns, huh? Nice. Collins is going to finish with a pretty high 80 overall, so maybe he gets drafted. Bishop with 36, which is phenomenal. We need some D-line help. Garrison's kind of disappointing at 39, but he's an animal already. Sam linebackers are brutal. Brutal down here as well. Beckner is going to be the one that really makes a big jump. 32 here for Cologne. Josiah Edmond. Then you got Donovan Starr that went up to Starr. So these two have 40 plus 34 for Stroud. So we're going to get better there. Nothing big in the free safety, strong safety. We got Rashad Johnson with Star as well. So a lot of Star development players, a lot of skill points to go around for sure. Bryce Baker. What can we do to make you better? Well, let's work on quickness. 90 speed. Love it. And then we are just going to hammer accuracies until we can't anymore. And then do we go 1 IQ? Yep, we're going to go IQ. And just like that, the junior redshirt is an 89 overall at QB. 90 speed is accurate, 96 throw power. His accuracies are getting there. 91 on the throw, or on short, 89 on medium. Deep throw is 84. Throw on the run's 93. The only thing that's really struggling is his throw under pressure. So I'm pretty excited about him for sure. He was the big one of the big ones that I wanted to go look at. Tim Carpenter obviously cannot touch him. He really just doesn't have a whole lot that we can work on just in general. So yeah, I mean, he had a good run last year. Turned the ball over quite a bit. But outside of that, I mean, he played relatively well. Just isn't going to be anywhere near a 90-some overall. So that will be it for Tim's career here at Ball State. He's probably going to transfer because he's not playing at all. And then this one isn't that big of a deal, but look at he has a lot of room to grow. He just doesn't have the points to do so, which is obviously a big need for him. So the returning Heisman winner can't get any faster. 91 speed. Obviously, I wish we could get him a little bit faster, but it's just not something that's in the cards, really. So he doesn't have that many points. So we're going to go elusiveness. So spin and juke are really good now. Then we're going to just pile on some awareness. Now, he is going to be a senior, so it's not something that we need to keep his overall down. So he's going to get drafted, which is going to help the halfback room for sure. And that's a big thing for us moving forward. There's a lot of things that I need to do here in the receiver room, but nothing like crazy where it's going to really impact a whole lot. This race is kind of what I'm the most intrigued about. We move Grimes. He was the slot receiver last year. He's a little small for tight end. So we definitely need to work on his blocking. It's not going to be great, but it's going to be good enough. He is the third tight end. So it's not like we're going to be asking him to block a bunch, but we're going to put the rest into hands, and then I think one into IQ. Do we have a physical? We do not. Blocking is a 2, but we can't use it. So that's it for Grimes. He gets up to a 77, 78, which overtakes the other two. But Jermaine Price has 33. He doesn't have a whole lot to work on, and we kind of knew that going into this year. A lot of it comes from this right here and his IQ, and that's not even going to really bump him up all that much. So he continues to be somebody that we want to continue to work on as a project. Grimes is not going to start over him. Well, maybe. Just the blocking is a big thing. Uter only has 12 points, which just isn't enough really to put him in this race, like at all. So the tight end position, I mean, he jumped a bunch there, so he looks to be the starter again. I don't know if we're going to start him. I don't know. I just have a connection with Price, and I don't know why. So we'll come back to that. Hayward, 48 of these bad boys. Run blocking is fully upgraded, so we'll fully upgrade pass blocking. Might as well go to power. He's 90 strength now. We'll go there. We'll hit there. We can't do anything else, so hopefully we can get some physical attributes here out of him, and we do. So he is now up to an 81. He's going to be a junior, so the only thing we can work on next year is quickness and then physical skills. So I mean, he looks to be really good for sure. I mean, 81 is by far really good for us. So we'll see what Zambrano does, coming back at him with those. Not a whole lot there. Renner, see how good Renner can get here. I will go back through. I just wanted to show you some of the bigger ones that I'm really worried about, or not worried about, but want to work on. So that's kind of the approach that I'm taking here this year. If you don't like seeing this stuff, please leave it in the comments. As I mentioned before, this is something that I really enjoy doing. Otherwise, I just have the auto on, right? So if you don't want to see it, please let me know, and I'll make sure to just do this all off screen. So Renner jumps all the way to an 88 as a junior. Johnson also has a bunch, and so does Regis. Forgot Regis is a star. He's a proximity to home guy too, so he's not gonna leave in the portal due to like playing time or anything like that. So we're gonna really work on him and see what we can get. And this might be a contestant to move to center, because we have 2 seniors and then a junior. So maybe we can get Regis to move to center, where he can get some playing time, and he might even go this year because he's better than all those centers are right now. So that's insane. Right tackle is also a place where we have kind of a battle. Longo, I mean, it just takes so many points once we get up to this area to get them any better. Well, we'll go one more to IQ. So Longo is up to an 88 as well. McDermott has a bunch of points that we can spend. He doesn't have nearly the endless skill cap as Longo does. And obviously that hurts his... I'll go one more there. That hurts his chances of really becoming somebody that plays a lot. He's just never gonna catch Longo, right? But a good backup just in case of any type of injuries. Bishop is a big one we wanted to look at because we want to see how high he can get because of the fact that we are so bad at edge. So we're gonna go power moves up. We're gonna get finesse moves up as much as we possibly can until it hits 5, and then we have 7 left, huh? Maybe go IQ and IQ. So he gets up to an 81. His IQ level is higher than most of his other stuff, but I mean, it's something that we need for sure. Left edge, we didn't even look at because there's nothing big there. Okay. D tackle, Garrison, the absolute monster of a freshman. He has 91 strength already, but he has untapped power. Good lord. The one big thing with him is it's so expensive to really do anything. 6 skill points deletes any type of amount. It just eats into it. So he is up to an 83 as a true sophomore, which is kind of insane to think about. We brought in this transfer, and as you saw, I should have touched on it a little bit more, but as you saw, after Garrison's 83, the next highest is a 71, so we are in dire need of somebody to step up and be able to be that second guy behind him, because we are thin at that position. So he only gets up to a 73, which might not even be enough, and he has 82 strength. Oh no, yikes. Nothing there. Mike's, the big one is Beckner. Oh, didn't even get to him. Not Rico Muse. I think Muse is like completely upgraded, which is not ideal. Quickness, I do think he needs to get a little bit faster. Pass coverage, will max that out. Power, we really don't need. Quickness, again, we don't want to put too much into it. And then IQ, I think, is a big thing for him as well. And then I think pass rush, well, that's going to be a 2. So Beckner up to a 76. I mean, he was super good for us last year anyway. We do bring in 2 transfer guys, but I don't see them really getting in the way of Beckner, to be quite honest. Cologne and Bigham's have a lot of skill points, but it's not even going to come close to touching Noah Carter. But Noah Carter is something that we need to look at. We'll get him a little faster at an 89, and then we'll get his pass rush up just a touch, and then hopefully we can spend some here, which we don't really shuck anybody in zones, so But he's up to an 85. He's pretty capped out. He's a senior. He should get drafted next year though, so that should be good for us as well. And then the corners are our big one. We have our top 3 with 34 plus, and then we have this guy down here, Delgado, that has a bunch too. So these will probably be the last ones that you guys see. Again, if this is something that you don't really care for, please leave it in the comments. Again, I really like to see these things and do these things, but if it's something that you are just like, I could care less about, I definitely won't show it. I won't show it anymore. So 12 left. I would like knockouts. Do I want Jammer? Throw Jammer on as well. Alright. And that is going to be Josiah Edmond. He's an 89. He's going to get drafted as well, I'm sure. Donovan Starr, he's going to be a junior. So we have another year of him as well. So I'm going to cap zone coverage. We play a lot of it. It's 92 speed, so it's not something that we really need to work on a whole lot. So we're going to dive into man coverage until, yeah, that's probably good. Power we probably don't need and we can't even get anyway. So we'll go run stopping until it turns to 3. So pursuit's good. And then we're going to give him a little bit more hands, but then we're going to check physical. Sure, we'll give him bouncer. We do kind of press a little bit more. Obviously with corners, and we do linebackers. So he's up to an 85, which is phenomenal. Stroud has 34, so not quite as much as the other ones, but enough to make an impact on his overall for sure. His zone coverage is going to get bumped a bunch. We have 15, so we can't do anything there. So zone coverage, one more. What do we got for physicals? Robbery's already all the way up. We'll go there as well. And come back to hands. Alright, so he's up to an 84 as well. So our top 3 here is going to be phenomenal. Everything below that, though, is going to be pretty mediocre, to be quite honest. Hopefully Delgado makes a huge jump just because of his speed, to be quite honest. Just in case we need any like big depth. Juwan Hooker, I lied. We'll look at Hooker as well. Maybe not, because all you can do is that. Oh no. My safeties have been notorious for having a bunch of skill points, but not being able to use them because they're already all like just maxed out. So there's that. He has so much stuff that we can work on. It doesn't do any good to go get more quickness. We'll get these guys up to 7. 10 left. Have any physicals that we want? Blow up, impact blocks. We don't. That's fine there. Pursuit's 95. Tackle's pretty high. Let's go one more to zone coverage, and we'll do 1 there. So he jumps to an 87. Again, somebody that's probably gonna get drafted. So, all right, those are the big ones. I will go ahead and do the rest on my own, and I will see you for the conference realignment. With the custom conference week of the off season here, you are seeing the already finished. Like I said, I was kind of ahead of the books this time, opposed to trying to do it during recording. So as you can see, the red teams, East Michigan, Sam Houston, get demoted from Conference USA to the Independent. Ohio and Old Dominion got promoted to Conference USA. Arkansas State and Coastal Carolina got demoted or relegated from the MAC into Conference USA, and so on and so forth. So I'll slowly pan this so you can get a peek at it. We already talked about it earlier in the video, so that's why I'm not really going super in detail. The final thing that we have left is to encourage transfers. I mentioned when we were in our draft class that it was probably going to need to happen. So we do need to cut 9 players from the squad. Now, how odd would it be that we cut our starting quarterback from last year? Oh, wouldn't that be hilarious? The only thing would be is Nostrowski, if I redshirt him, he's not going to leave because of playing time. He will leave because of championship contender. So, either way, I mean, he's probably going to be redshirted. So, we're going to leave all the quarterbacks in there. Now, some of these running backs probably could be cut. But having depth here is probably a smart idea as well. But so essentially what I do is I go through all of these and I just try to find the ones that make the most sense. Like Durham would make sense if he wasn't our fastest receiver. So that's kind of the job that I have right now. Like Scroggins, he's got to go. He's a senior. He's a 69 overall. Same thing with Windsor. Senior, that's a 65 overall. We don't need that on our squad. Maybe even like Redfield, right? He's a junior, 74 overall, but like 2 seniors ahead of him and then a freshman that's going to overtake him next year more than likely. That would be a guy that we look to probably cut as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do those, and I will see you when I'm done. And that is the off-season episode. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to click on the video. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel as well. And leave a comment. What is your guess for our record this year? We have some dogs, and we'll talk about the roster in the next episode, but we got some players, including that quarterback that we got out of the portal. So it's going to be really interesting to see how we do play in the Sun Belt, and see if we can continue just march on our way up the ladder. Is this the year where we kind of get humbled a little bit in the fact of we might not get promoted, right? I was saying it all last year, and we found ways to win games. So, as always, I hope you have a good day. I hope you had a great day. Spread the word. Peace.